What's going on, everybody? Today on Cooking for College, we are going to do a quick little roast beef sub sandwich. It is excellent. I came up with this the other night. I got some guidance from someone, and then I kind of branched off on my own and came up with this. And we're going to start. It's going to be roast beef, bacon, mozzarella, and mushrooms. Alright, now we're going to start off cooking the mushrooms. And something that I discovered is that not everybody, you don't always have olive oil on hand, so you can just cook your mushrooms in a little bit of water. It pretty much just steams them. You can just dump them in there and pour them right in that water. Alright, now will take but a second. They do not take very long in this water, but like I said, it's basically just steaming them. The mushrooms will absorb the water, shrink down a little bit. So you'll know when they're done because they'll be wiggly. They'll be squishier than normal. Alright, and while those are going, I've got my ajou sauce, which is kind of like a cheap. You can buy a little ajou package that you can just mix yourself, or if you have like a beef bouillon cube, you just pour that in a pan with a cup of water, and I added a little soy sauce for some salt, and hot sauce for a little kick, and some garlic powder. And so I just stirred all that in there and let it come to a boil, and then let it go back down. The bouillon cube needs to be to a boil to spread out, because it's a little powder cube, and it turns into the liquid. Alright, so I've got that going pretty good here. And now I've just got my fresh deli cut roast beef. See, it's beautiful. It's nice and pink. And I'll just sit that right in there. And I splurged a little and got the deli meat because you really do on this sandwich. It's worth it. Trust me. This is an amazing sandwich. And I would definitely recommend getting the deli meat roast beef. And set all that in the ajou sauce. Make sure my heat's up. You don't want it too hot, like about medium. You don't want to get it too high. You just want enough just to brown the meat a little bit. Let that go for a second. Alright, and the cheese I'm going to use is mozzarella. And I also had a couple pieces of bacon left over. You can bake it, microwave it, whatever you prefer. But I've got a couple extra pieces. I'm going to throw that in the sandwich too to give it a little extra flavor. And for the bread, I'm going to use these hoagie rolls. These are on sale for 2 for $3, 2 6-packs for $3. I take one, I put it in the freezer, and I eat the other one for the week. So I'll go ahead and get these out and ready. Alright, I'm making 2 sandwiches out of all this. Set those over there to the side. Now I'm just waiting on everything to cook up. I had the mushrooms on pretty high, on medium high, and let the pan get hot and then dump some water in there and then pour the mushrooms on top, and the mushrooms are already finished. Now you can take on top of the mushrooms, especially while they're still in the water, they're still wet, you can do just like a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, whatever flavoring you want. You can do a little Italian seasoning. I prefer garlic powder. I'm going to put just a little bit of garlic on top of the mushrooms. Just a little bit. Put it right there. Mix it up. Make sure everybody gets a little bit of the garlic. You gotta turn that off and just leave your mushrooms sitting here for a second because they're done. Alright, now I'm just gotta move everything around, make sure all my roast beef is getting coated. And you can tell this is the pink roast beef. This is how when you buy it, it's gonna be pink like this. And whenever it's about done cooking, it's gonna turn brown. You just let that go for a second. The roast beef will suck up some of the ajou sauce. See if I can get that cooked down a little. Alright. Okay, I think everything's pretty much cooked through. It doesn't take long, just a little bit, just to give it some extra flavor. Makes it nice and tender. Okay, alright, so I got all that done. Now, get my spoon out. Now just making the sandwich. I just need to get my spoon out, kind of do one of these, tilt it like this, make sure you can get to the ajou sauce. And you just want to, I gotta get my bread ready. I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, take your bread, open it up. Open like this. And if you want, you can do this with onions. You can do it without bacon. You can just do roast beef and cheese. You can do it without mushrooms, with onions. Like I said, anything you really want would probably be delicious on this. You just take a little bit of that sauce and you just pour it right there on the bread. I normally do about a scoop per side of bread, and I'm making 2 sandwiches here. Alright. if you have, when you buy your bouillon cubes, they're in a little glass jar about this tall with a blue top, and you get like 16 to 20 of them in there for like $2–3. So you can make, I just did 1 bouillon cube, you can do more if you'd like. Get you some extra juice sauce depending on how saucy you like it. Got a little bit extra over here, might as well get it. Dump it right here. Alright, so you can see on the bread that it's getting nice and covered there. Alright, and now I'm just going to take my bacon. If you like 2 pieces, I like 2 pieces of bacon, so I'll put 1 on each side of bread. And if you don't, you just leave it and put it on top. But I'm just going to take my roast beef and pile it on right here. Another slice, pile it on right there. Alright, now for my other sandwich. Right there. Okay. Now right on top of the roast beef, I'm just going to take my mushrooms, put them right there in the middle. Get the rest of my mushrooms, put them right here. Alright, lost one there. Okay, and now if you just want 1 piece of bacon, I'd put it right there in the middle so you get a piece with every bite. Now you just take some of this mozzarella cheese. You can use Swiss cheese, provolone, whatever you have on hand will be, I'm sure will be delicious on this. I had mozzarella sitting around, so I just used that. Put it right there. Alright. And to make this a little healthier, you can not add the bacon, and you can do fat-free cheese. Either way, it is delicious. I've had it with fat-free cheese. The fat-free cheese is just as good. The Kraft stuff, it's good. Okay. A little more cheese on that. Okay. And now I'm just going to take them. Well, I got a little extra sauce in here, so I'm going to take my little extra sauce and dump it right there on top. Okay. Make sure all your burners are turned off. Yep. Now I've got my 2 sandwiches, and you can throw them in the oven. I'm just going to throw them in the toaster oven. You just want to toast them until the cheese is nice and melted. Probably about 2–3 minutes. Alright, they've been in there for about 2–3 minutes now. The bread's starting to get some color on it. The cheese is nice and melted, so I'm going to pull them out. Alright, those smell amazing. Make sure your toaster oven, that's a big fire hazard. Make sure you get that turned off. Alright. How about that? Looks delicious, doesn't it? They're absolutely incredible. Just gonna take it, fold it in half, cut it. Well, they are very hot, so you might want to wait a second to eat them. Alright, let's see how they taste. The combination of the bacon and the roast beef is incredible, and it just falls apart. That roast beef is so nice, and especially after you cook it in that juice sauce, it just crumbles in your mouth. That stuff is very good. All right, everybody. Well, that was a roast beef, bacon, mozzarella sandwich, and that was Cooking for College.